All right, let's talk about Beşiktaş. We are looking at a result that, on paper, seems like a job well done. In the UEFA Europa League second qualifying round first leg, Beşiktaş ground out a 1-0 victory over Midtjylland right at the Tüpraş Stadium, so they've pocketed the advantage ahead of the rematch in Denmark. But listen, if you actually sat down and watched those 90 minutes, you know the story isn't quite that simple. The atmosphere, the momentum shifts, the overall flow of the game, it really left us asking some tough questions. So, here's the big question we gotta tackle. Why didn't this 1-0 satisfy us? I mean, it's a win, right? A clean sheet, a solid step toward the next round. And yet, looking at the performance on the pitch, there's just this lingering sense of unfulfillment. To truly get why a favorable scoreline can feel so incredibly hollow, we need to step up to the tactic board and break down the underlying mechanics of this match together. Okay, part one, the turning point and expectations. Everything that defined the rest of the night really stemmed from one highly dramatic early moment. 10. That is the number of men Midtjylland had to play with for over 75 minutes of this match. Just think about that. In the 14th minute, their striker Etim gets slapped with a direct red card. Boom! A massive tactical shift happens right there on the spot. Suddenly, the entire dynamic of the match is completely rewritten before the teams had even fully settled into their rhythms. Now, what's the logical expectation after an early red card? You expect them to win. Actually, scratch that. You expect total domination. You expect Beşiktaş to just completely suffocate their opponent, press them insanely high, and essentially pull the plug on the whole tie right there in the first 45 minutes. You expect them to take that extra man and turn it into an insurmountable lead. Let's walk through exactly how this crazy first half actually played out. We start with that 14th minute red card. Then, exactly as expected, the pressure just mounts. And in the 26th minute, the absolute maestro of the pitch, Orkun Kökçü, steps up and orchestrates a magnificent goal that finally picks the lock of that Danish defense. It really felt like the floodgates were going to open. But, as we'll see right before halftime in the 43rd minute, we had a near disaster that we absolutely have to talk about. Moving on to part two, lack of concentration and missed opportunities. Between that beautiful goal and the halftime whistle, the harsh reality of the game really set in. Man, this is exactly where the frustration lies. Beşiktaş just hit a brick wall trying to find that game-killing second goal. Just 3 minutes after taking the lead, 29th minute, a cross from İlhan Fakoli finds right back Murillo. He strikes it on the volley, smashes the post. On the rebound, Orkun crosses it back in, and Oli Tan completely whiffs on the ball right at the mouth of the goal. It was agonizing. Then, second half, 53rd minute, Orkun Kökçü gets stuffed by the keeper inside the box. And in the 70th, Orkun plays a mind-reading through ball to Cerny, who drags his shot wide from a tight angle. This whole sequence just exposes a massive lack of concentration in their final touches. Which brings us to part three, the match's hidden hero, Murillo. Because while everyone was fixated on the missed chances up front, the entire tie was almost lost at the back. The sheer danger of the 43rd minute is what really stands out to me. The score is 1-0, the opponent is down a man, but out of nowhere, Midtjylland launches this rapid, highly dangerous counterattack. Frankelino breaks completely free, slipping right behind the Beşiktaş defense. He is one-on-one, face-to-face with Nuvo. He is literally a split second away from pulling the trigger and turning this entire scenario completely upside down. But then, out of nowhere, comes Murillo. Just look at the incredible contrast in his game. From sheer offensive agony in the 29th minute, hitting the post, to absolute defensive brilliance in the 43rd. He tracks all the way back and makes a critical, destiny-altering tackle right as Frankelino is about to shoot. For an attacking right back to make a life-saving recovery like that, it's absolutely commendable. Seriously, that might be the single move that dictates the fate of this entire qualifying round. All right, part four, final status before the rematch. What do we actually walk away with here? Well, we have a Beşiktaş side that clung to a 1-0 lead against 10 men. And even when they made tactical adjustments, the outcome was stubbornly the same. 62nd minute, Rashica and Semih Kılıçsoy come off the bench. They definitely injected a much-needed burst of energy, no doubt about it. But ultimately, even that fresh attacking intent just couldn't widen the gap. Which brings us to the stark reality of the situation. Yes, for sure, the advantage is in Beşiktaş's pocket. But make no mistake, Thursday, July 30th at the MCH Arena in Denmark, that is not going to be a walk in the park. Defending a slender 1-0 lead away from home against a team that will have a full 11 men on the pitch this time, it requires absolute focus. It's going to be an incredibly tough test. So, I gotta turn this over to you now. When an opponent plays with 10 men for over 75 minutes, are you genuinely satisfied taking just a 1-0 lead into the rematch? How are you grading Orkun Kökçü's absolute masterclass in the midfield today? And what is your take on those agonizing misses up front? Evaluate the tactics, weigh the outcomes, and let those questions sit with you as we gear up for the second leg in Denmark.